E3. My sweet E3. Gone but not forgotten. I always just kind of assumed it would be around. Well, maybe not forever, but I didn't think I'd look up and it would just be gone. It was fun. The spectacle, the pageantry, the cringe. It was, in many ways, its own kind of strange beauty. And while I miss it, I don't exactly want more of it. I don't know. It was fine. I watched a few shows, I watched a couple of showcases, and I moved on with my life. A big part of why I haven't felt its absence is, well, it never really left. The big three, they still make their showcases, major developers still have their time to shine, and it's just not all being held in the same convention center and in the same weekend. And then there's the topic of this video, the Summer Games Fest, hosted by everyone's favorite independent journalist, Jeff Keighley. Instead of showing up to E3 with something to prove and a limited time to do it, now developers and artists and companies curate something on their own time and at their own pace. They don't feel the need to have some out-of-touch spokesperson trying to convince us to buy a phone game. It's led to a significantly better show. And I have no segue, or in today's case, transition, because it's Pride Month. No, don't look at the time, don't look at the date. Yes, I'm 30 and still turning stuff in at 11:59, leave me alone. But it's time for everyone's favorite kind of video, vibes-based rankings. We're gonna go through the showcases and rank them on how gay they are. And we're not just looking at the major ones, we're not just looking at 4 or 5, we're looking at every single show. There are 18 of them. They go across different cultures, different races, different gender, whatever. It's all there. All things LGBTQIA+ are to be considered, plus diversity, equity, inclusion. Ooh, scary, ain't it? One Piece and Metal Gear Solid are apolitical, whatever. Feel free to pee your pants about it in the comments, I don't care. Let's get this started. Starting us off strong, number 18, the straightest of our bunch, is the Xbox Showcase. Do I have to explain? This is a boy console. It's always been about the boys. It's always been about your guns, your shooters, your muscly men fighting off against, I don't know, some sort of horde. You know, it's painfully straight. It's performing straightness. It's straight as straight camp. And it's only about as gay as... Once you get to a certain amount of straightness, it's a little bit of a horseshoe. You get a little gay again. You only care about the opinions of men. Yeah, the interests of men. You hate women. Okay, it's a little gay to hate women as much as some straight men hate women. And yeah, these impossibly large, impossibly buff, impossibly gruff men who bunk together, who camp together, and, you know, fight against impossible odds together. I can't help it. It's a little gay. Even, there's a couple of titles that lean into sort of a theater kid campiness, but even that is like your steampunk straight. It's still not giving gay. It's just a little colorful for Xbox. Very nostalgic gamer. This is your dad's console. Very cishet, very hegemonic. Gods, kings, and shit like that. It's straight. I called Senua, I called the Hellblade, I called this series Xbox's uwu therapy speak girl protagonist game. And it is. And I mean, and look at it. This is as edgy as it still gets. It's still not exactly soft, colorful. It's not exactly fruity. Oh, at the same time, while I do these rankings, I also want to talk about a few highlights. Bethesda would almost be a highlight, right? I want Bethesda to be a highlight. I see Bethesda's name come up, and I would like to be excited. But, I mean, we know what's going on. We know that they are making boo-boo trash, ass, bad, garbo games. I haven't enjoyed a Bethesda romp since Skyrim. What do you want from me? And I look at this, and I look at the style, and I look at... They can do iconography. That's all they can do. They can do imagery. They can do icons. But when you actually get in the game, I'm like... It's garbo. They make bad games, and I'm not happy about it. And it looks like Xbox is looking to take over a spectrum of the direction. Who knows? I have no hope. I I don't care. Make a good game and then I'll buy in. You know, I refuse to have another Starfield in my library. What else did Xbox have? They showed off Doom. I'm always excited for another Doom. That US flight simulator national parks update. It's not gay. it's nerdy. It's quiet. You know, it's like your model plane, Quiet Boy. That's not exactly gay, but it looked interesting. And then, you know, Xbox says, yeah, we can do color too. We can do mascots. We can do color. We've got Spyro, and Spyro would be the mascot platformer that they would have. He's got so much stinky attitude. You know, it makes sense. Moving on. The 17th most gay is the PC gaming show. I was a little shocked by this. I didn't think it would be, you know, second most straight. I didn't think it would be right next to Xbox. I had a little hope that there would be just a little gayness in the PC gaming show. But then I remembered this is the PC gaming show. This is a publication that is about PC games. One corporation, publication. That already skews it straighter. As we get through this, you're gonna see that the endier it gets, the gayer it gets. But yeah, it's a magazine. It's like, these are like old print media dudes. This isn't it's on a website, but it still has echoes of the print media that it used to be. And look at them. They're doing a play on the sitcom, but they're not exactly against the sitcom. It's just, the joke is that I guess a laugh track is a little cringe. It's still playing sitcom pretty straight. It's not fighting the conventions. It's not breaking stereotypes. It's not really saying anything about culture. The hegemony it's not really doing anything with it. And while not performing hetero camp like the Xbox showcase did, the PC gaming show is still very, very straight. In terms of the games shown off, I'm kind of realizing I'm not exactly the most biggest PC gamer lover. Games with grids and charts, they do not make my synapses fire. There's a little bit of color throughout this showcase, but colorful only as far as maybe like Serious Sam gets. When I call it straight, it's a bit like Guardians of the Galaxy. Silly, meta, colorful, a little sensitive, but still straight, with the occasional joke about being gay at a character's expense. It's not loving its gayness. Think painted figurines and not painted nails. The close it gets is punk aesthetics, punk themes, but not exactly exploring gender. There were a couple titles I'm somewhat interested in. We've got this Sated game. I like it. It looks like dark, gritty, a little gross. I like the sort of old 3D modeled aesthetic. We're really leaning into that with so many games these days, and I'm very excited to see it. I like that we're nostalgic for my nostalgia now. That mid-2000s chunky graphics kind of game. I like it. There's also Thief Remastered. I've never played Thief, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but I've always wanted to play it. The YouTubers I do see talk about Thief, I really do like the other games they talk about. I like their tastes, so I bet I would enjoy what Thief has to offer. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing this little piece of history. I don't know, I like to see it coming back. But yeah, that's the PC gaming show. Not very gay. Next, 16th most gay, the India showcase. Just not particularly gay. I don't have too much to say about it. It's not performing the kind of straightness that Xbox is. It's not drippingly straight like the PC gaming show. It's just doing its thing. It's just not really giving any sexuality. But in the global cultural exchange, I don't really see a whole lot coming out of India. I don't get a whole lot of games out of India, outside of a few movies, outside of a few, I don't know, YouTube channels, songs, something like that. I'm not getting a whole lot out of India in our day-to-day cultural exchange. And I do love to get to see games come out of a different culture sensibility. That's my own diversity and inclusion going on. I mean, it's nice to see. It makes the showcase more diverse, but it's not exactly gay. we've got a few games that I looked at and that I saw, thought were cute, thought were interesting. We've got Silk Grove, you know, we've got more solar punk. We're in our solar punk era. We're all depressed and we want to recycle. Good shit. We want to see some more plants in the world. I like to see it. Looks cute. This is a game I'm particularly interested in. Rakshasa. Not sure how to pronounce it, but it's gorgeous, it's gritty, it's dark, it looks really interesting. I feel really pulled in by the aesthetics. I feel like it could be a middling game, but just based on how it looks, I think I would enjoy just looking around at stuff. Yeah, Rakshasa. I'm gonna give that a try. And finally, we've got Flip Flop Fury. It just looks like a fun weekend. You know, this isn't gonna be my game of the year, but it looks like a fun little, silly little experience to enjoy. I would like to play Flip Flop Fury. It looks goofy. Up next, and 15th most gay, is the Deutsch Indie Showcase. Not very gay, but it does have a gentle playfulness and, you know, meta interactiveness with the audience that I think is just a little cutesy, and that makes it just a little gayer than the testosterone fests that is Xbox. You know, that's our other extreme that we're constantly looking back to show, you know, this is maximum straightness. I don't really have much to say about this. It's got that Northern European efficiency, but yeah, you know, cute computery games, a lot of trains. Unsurprising. That's Europe for you. Y'all like your trains. Decent amount of sheep. A lot of farms. Very Eurocore, very cute. We got a couple games that I looked at that I thought were interesting. Children of Saturn. This is as gay as the Deutsch Indie Showcase gets. I mean, look at it. It's punk girls. It's got the breaking news. No, sorry. It's got that breaking mailboxes after dark, crush bin skull music ass aesthetic. I like it. Children of Saturn. I want to give it a try. I like to break stuff. You know, take a bat and break some glass. That kind of game. Skateboard around and fuck shit up. And then we've got No Man Can Deny. It looks like a bite-sized experience, survival, dark, horror aesthetic game. I like survival games, resource management games. This might be fun. I like the way it looks, but you know, these are previews, so there's only so much I can go off of, but just based on how it looks, I am interested in it. Next, and 14th most gay, is the Latin American Showcase. Not particularly gay, but it is stylish. And to care about your style is just a little gay. I don't know. We're ranking a lot of shows here, but it's very stylish. It's very cool, very emo, very dark, very mysterious. I just really like a lot of the aesthetics I saw here. Got that glossy AA indie game kind of look. I found this showcase really appealing. The aesthetics really remind me of my old school emo days on like Gaia Online. It's one of the most confident showings of games out of all of the showcases. Like, I don't know, they just seem very self-assured. Each showing within this showcase feels very self-assured. It's just doing its thing, being stylish. I don't know, I like it. There were actually quite a few games in this showcase that I'm interested in. A couple of them I'll get into later. But first off is Castlebound. I mean, look at my little character and look at these little characters. I love the little sticker aesthetic. I love that. And on top of that, it looks like a pretty fun little game. I like it. Get a little team together of little characters and fight off monsters in waves as your castle moves. That's a little weird, but I like it. Castlebound. I want to give it a try. Then we've got this one, Block. As you can see, I like a cute game. I like a cutesy aesthetic. And this looks very cute. I think my girlfriend would enjoy this. And I would enjoy it for at least a few calm, nice little high afternoons. Get a little high, make yourself a little castle. That sounds cute. That sounds fun. I would like to do that. This next game, I think, is featured in 3 of the different showcases, but I'm going to talk about it here, and I love the way it looks. It's so cute. I love this. I want it. Look at it. Just look at it. Just look at it. Look at it. It's so cute. It's so cute. I have to have this. I have to have it. It's called Toada Brava. And it's this little cutesy, well, I mean, you can look at the style right here, but a music-based, turn-based RPG kind of thing. I don't care what it is. I like the way it looks, and I want to play it. I want it now. And last but not least, Brazilian drug dealer before 4. Oh boy, does this look like a drug trip. I think that would be fun. I look at it. Look at it. I like cheeky games, and wow, this looks a lot more in your face than cheeky, but I like that too. And I'm really in my boomer shooter phase right now, so put another one on the list. They're always a fun romp. Next up, and 13th most gay, is the PlayStation State of Play. PlayStation has always had a bit of a metrosexual vibe to me. You're gay in a JoJo fans kind of way. You know, it's got a lot of dads, it's got a lot of women. There's a lot of women as their like headliners. You know, you've got your Tomb Raider, you've got The Last of Us. They're not afraid to calm down and tell a quieter, gentler, more earnest to your heart story, and that's a little gay. This is like a very men who aren't afraid to do a tea party with their daughters aesthetic. Men with a journal. These are men that journal. This is the vibe I get from a lot of the titles that PlayStation will put on the forefront. There's a lot of women across the whole show, hosts, narrators, creators, and that's a little gay of you. It's definitely diverse of you. It's not the gayest in the world. It's still pretty straight. It's still pretty straight. It's about, like, I don't know, like your Marvel gay. You might get a gay character as like your 3rd tier character, you know, not your primary. Not your primary is like love interest and things, but like a character that shows up in one movie. I mean, it starts off with Wolverine, and the mutants are already just gay. It's about being a minority. It's about that conversation of how do we gain acceptance, to have that discussion, to make these allegories to like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X it's very gay of you. It's at least hitting towards that diversity, equity, inclusion spectrum, and that's gay of you. Wolverine starts us off with a bang, a bloody bang. We've got a new Tomb Raider. Love to see it. I'll admit I haven't really played Tomb Raider in a hot minute. Maybe not since, what is it, Tomb Raider 2016? I played one other, I'm pretty sure, but I think this is the 3rd. Is it even the 4th one by now? I just know I haven't played in a hot minute. She's in her iconic outfit. I love to see that. Her iconic Tomb Raider fit. And I don't even like Tomb Raider all that much, but I'm still excited to see it. And I think down to my core, I just know how important she is to the history of games. And I like to see it. And we really are moving into the future. It is no longer just Dad of War. We are now Mom of War. God of War Mom. I like that. It makes me more interested in getting back into it. It's not that I don't like Kratos. It's just we done seen him a million billion times. I wouldn't mind another angle to look at God of War through. I like Kratos. Kratos is eye-catching. He's good. He's great. I'm just not afraid to do something different. I want to see him do something different. Let's see how this goes. But keep in mind, I do say this as a little bit of an outsider. All right. Next up in 12th most gay is Day of the Dead. Oh, sorry. Day of the Devs. I literally just said the play on that they're doing. As I told you earlier, just as we get more indie, it gets gayer and gayer. But this is probably the least gay that the indies get. And it's probably the most corporate that the indies get. These are your AA studios, you know, your fine, what is it? Your Double Fine. your Double Fines, your, why am I having such a hard time remembering other indie studios? There is also the kind of gentle intimacy where one has lovingly made something over a long and laborious journey that is a little gay. What do you mean you didn't pitch this to investors in a room full of old white men? What are we doing here? But it's still at most soft boy, and soft boy is still pretty straight. You know, these are your men who wear pink, but you know, it's not gay. It's not very gay, but it is indie, and indie is always just a little gay. I didn't have a whole lot of games throughout this that really pulled me in, but I like to see Platonic, and it looks like they're working on, what's it called? Super Ukulele Cart. Yeah, I've liked every ukulele so far. I play ukulele, Uka-Replay-ly, you know, the remake. I played the Impossible Lair, and none of these are kinds of games that I just have to play. I don't have to play every 3D platformer. I don't have to play, well, I guess it's like a 2D side-scrollery platformer for the Impossible Lair, but I enjoyed them both thoroughly, and I bet I would enjoy the Ukulele Cart. They always package these games with a lot to offer. There's a lot to engage with, and they're very cute games, so I think this will be another good one. Next up, and 11th most gay, is the Southeast Asian Showcase. Very bright, very colorful, very stylish, but not exactly in a gay way. The color does make it just a little gayer than some of the other showcases, but just because other countries aren't afraid to use color does not make them gay. But the fact that all these games manage to feel very inclusive, they do. They feel very inclusive, very cooperative, very friendly. That makes it a little gay. That, and there are a ton of women in this showcase. There are a ton of stylish men. There are a ton of people who give indie vibes. I got, you know, everybody's wearing a little makeup. Everyone's wearing some earrings. Everyone's got a nice sense of style, and that's a little gay. But there are a lot of women. Women-led productions, works that obviously have some spectrum of diverse staff. I can kind of tell it through the showcase. That's a little gay of them. Outside of that, I don't think I have a ton to say about the Southeast Asian Showcase. They're not exactly my types of games all the way through. I didn't see a whole lot of games that I'm really, you know, that interested in. We've got this little dark, horror-y, ARG vibe-ish little game called Just a Shadow Game. That's interested me. It interests me in just the aesthetics alone. Turn-based strategy card games aren't always my favorite, but I also will play just about anything. I like the way it looks, and I think I'll give this a try whenever it comes out. Just a Shadow Game. The demo's out, you know, if you want to give any of these a try. Then there is Hoa 2. I don't know nothing about no Hoa 1, but this looks cute. It looks fun. There looks to be a lot of interesting little characters to interact with, little creatures, little outfits. It looks cute. It's cute enough for me to give it a try. You know, I doubt it'll be a $60 title, which means I'll probably give it a little try. Next up, and 10th most gay, is the Summer Game Fest. Just the main showing. The main showcase is sitting comfortably almost smack dab in the middle of this ranking. It's not the gayest in the world, but needing to make your own smaller, better, nicher, more inclusive version of something that Corpo BS had fallen short of is a very gay origin story. The passion, the love, the care shown towards the community and its creators. Gay. What you mean? It's not just about the investors. Like I said, that's kind of gay. And the showcases that they highlight, that they put on the forefront, that they put forward, it's very inclusive, especially as you see what we get on later. The fact that they even headline with some of these other ones, the fact that they showcase these different groupings of people, it's very DEI of you. There's a lot of shows for women, different cultures, and a particularly gay one we'll see later on. And, you know, A+ for them. Great allyship. See, being an ally does get you points sometimes. Right. They start us off pretty strong. Resident Evil, it's always a hit at game shows, game release shows. Always. Resident Evil never does poorly when they show something off. And I mean, well, look at any of the Resident Evil games and you will understand why. They pull you in, they immerse you into the whatever horror-y feel they want you to. They will put chills across your skin. Now, are the games themselves all that scary? Not necessarily. But it's not about that. It's horror. It's your classical horror. And I always love to see Resi. I don't play them all. I've only played like your 2 blockbusters, you know, fake fan over here. I've played Resi House and Resi, you know, Dummy Mommy Vampire Village. But I think I would like to get into these games just a little bit more. I am always excited to see them showcased, so there you go. Also, the second showing is for Cuphead. Like, I love to see it. The confidence to put Cuphead second in your Summer Game Fest in the show, the main show. I love to see it. I'm so happy for Studio MDHR. I'm really excited to see them getting to do what they want to do. They put so much passion into Cuphead, and I mean, it's like my favorite game. I play Cuphead probably about 2 or 3 times a year. I'm considering speedrunning it. I love Cuphead, and I'm excited for Cuphead 2. They're making the next one. They have nothing to show, so, you know, give them time, please. These things, it just takes a while to cook up good food, baby. Let them cook. But I want it badly. And in the meantime, they will, you know, I guess, sate our hunger. They've got some little Game Boy aesthetic-y platformer that they have announced. Another project, as they put it. Mighty Cuphead Adventure. It's very cute, very cute. I'm going to buy it. There's no I want to play it. I'd like to give it a try. No, I'm going to get it. It's cute. We've also got RuneScape Dragon Wilds. I don't know too much about RuneScape. I guess I'm happy to still see them doing their thing. Wait a second. Did RuneScape take away? Hold up. Let me pause this. Did RuneScape not do their gay pride thing this month to avoid controversy? Oh fuck that. No. I feel like they did that. I'm gonna let me see. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah. Jagex CEO says they scrapped annual RuneScape Pride to protect the imminent future of the game. Oh, fuck you. Fuck off. Never mind. I'm not happy. I'm not happy to see RuneScape. How weak and spineless do you have to be to, I don't know. You homophobes seem so, you know, y'all are so spineless. We've also got this 1666 Amsterdam game. Do I know anything about it? Nope. Do I want to give it a try? Yeah, why not? It looks interesting. I don't have anything other than to say that it looks interesting. That's going to be my thoughts on a lot of these things going forward. I'm going to probably say less and less as we continue. I guess just know I'm interested in the games I show off. This next one is a very silly one. Hot Wheels Infinite Rush. Just in its concept, I find that endearing. I'm instantly pulled back into Hot Wheels nostalgia. Those are just always such fun little toys. Hot Wheels, they're great collectibles. They're great little toys. They're great, cute little cars. And I wouldn't mind a Hot Wheels racing game. It's odd to me that we don't have at least many in the cultural zeitgeist. I imagine they've made at least one before. There has to have been one Hot Wheels game before this, but not any I've ever heard of. And that's strange to me. Hot Wheels is a very, very, very iconic, very recognizable, very eye-catching brand. And maybe they've just been waiting for the right time. Or, who knows, maybe it's one of those IP rights sort of thing, rights hell kind of bullshit. You know, like, I think X-Men was experiencing this, where like different people held different rights at different times, where Marvel Studios owned like production rights of like films and things, and someone else had like toy rights, and then someone else had like gaming rights, and the rights were spread among everywhere. And who knows, maybe that's this. But Hot Wheel Infinite Rush. And then we had a reveal I was absolutely not ready to see. The Wolf Among Us 2, and one remastered. Now that's a name I hadn't heard in years. Telltale? Y'all are still alive? I thought you had been taken out back and beaten viciously. I thought you had been killed. I thought you were gone. I'm excited to see it. I really liked The Wolf Among Us. Hell, Telltale makes a good experience. They make a good story, a compelling story. And so I'm just gonna get this. I'm excited to see it. Next up, and ninth most gay, is the Nintendo Direct. Now, Nintendo does their own thing, so they had like some boo-boo ass a little slideshow of chugging games to show for the Summer Games Fest. But, you know, they do their own Direct, and we'll talk about it. They do their own thing at their own pace because they say we're a 100-year-old company, leave us alone. Are they? I'm thinking of Disney. But we're an old company. We used to make toys. Leave us the fuck alone. We know what we're doing. That's what they say. It's not the gayest in the world, but it is family friendly. It's cute. That makes it a little gay, but it is sadly corporate. And corporate makes it not gay. They strip the desire to be family friendly, strips it of all sexuality. And you don't have to be overtly sexual to be gay, please. That is not what I am saying at all. But you can't exactly be afraid of sexuality. And the Nintendo Direct: battle the forces of heaven and hell in the next Bayonetta for the Nintendo Switch. Ass tone, it's not gay. You have stripped Bayonetta of her sexuality in your ads. That's not gay. But at the same time, there is this still non-binary, gender-neutral, asexual energy that circles back around to being a very, very strong flavor of gay. You're Toad gay. You're Yoshi gay. I mean, Birdo exists. And that's a beauty in and of itself. They don't always, you know, headline her, but she does show up in a few of the titles, any of the group together titles she is a part of. Nintendo only gets about as gay as your cartoon television network, where they aren't going to go on and on and on about inclusion, but every now and then they let a trusted creator be queer in an unfiltered way, like in a way that does shock you a bit. Hence, they'll show off Deltarune. The console I associate with Undertale and Deltarune, it would be the Switch. While I want to Switch too, there aren't a ton of titles that I saw that I'm just like, I have to have this. I do think the One Piece Grand Gourmet is cute. It looks like a pretty simple little restaurant title, and I used to play so many of those games, like on my phone, you know, where you're making burgers and setting them out for people. It's a pretty simple game loop, but I find it enjoyable. And oh my god, does this look better than... Okay. And oh my god, everything looks infinitely better than any piece of food has ever looked in One Piece. Man, nothing gives me the ick like that nasty ass food Sanji be making sometimes. Get him out of the kitchen. But that's just the show. You know, you don't look too bad in the manga. And you know, studio, what I might actually be able to do something and make the food look appealing, make me want to eat some of Sanji's cooking. I have to turn away from the screen sometimes. Okay, now I'm just whinging about Toei. Let's move on. I'm actually going to talk about this next one a little bit more in depth later, but let me just briefly say the positives I feel about Pacopia. I want to play it. It looks like a fun little game. It makes me want to buy a Switch too. This is probably one of the main reasons I would like to get a Switch too. And they are announcing DLC for it. We'll get into it a little bit later. I have some contentious feelings. I've got we're gonna get to that. I'm a Pokemon critic. What can I say? It just comes naturally. We have 2 impressive final showings for Nintendo, which is very rare. You know, sometimes they be ending with boo-boo. But they have 2 things to show off for us for the end of the showcase. First of which is Kingdom Hearts 4. You know, good for it. I've played half of the first Kingdom Hearts. I would really like to get into it. I've got a good friend. He is, oh my god, he loves this series. He spends a lot of time talking about lore across his streams, and I love to see it, and I love his passion for it, and I'd like to get into it, but you know, it's got a lot. It's got a lot to get into. I think over the next year, I'm gonna work my way through the games. I own them. Let me play them. I'm gonna do this. I'm dedicated. I'm gonna play this. And their second headliner, the real shake 'em, wake 'em, and quake 'em. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Zelda Ocarina of Time. I never played Ocarina of Time. I did play Majora's Mask, which is based on the literal bones, physical structure of Ocarina of Time, but I've never really gotten a chance to play it. And a remaster is a great time to go on and give it a try. You know, of course, they'll change some things. It won't be quite what it was, but I bet it'll be a perfectly fine way to experience it. Nintendo don't just fuck around with a Zelda. They don't tend to. All right, next and 8th most gay is the Black Voices in Gaming. It's not the gayest ever, but it's very experiential games. A lot of the games that they showed off were very put yourself in someone else's shoes, very personal stories, and getting too personal, that's a little gay. What you mean it's not something broadly applicable to the whole culture, the whole country, the whole world? That's kind of gay. And just on a personal note, I love to see us doing our thing and doing it loud and proud and in your face. Culture that reaches across oceans and still manages to be connected. This is, you know, this isn't just your Black American voices. This is Black voices across the globe, and I love to see it. There's a nuance and a gentleness to a lot of the hosts, to a lot of the games presented, to a lot of the themes, colors, and aesthetic that, well, lend itself towards understanding, and that's a little gay, but isn't necessarily that gay, really. But it's very inclusive. I mean, you black, you in, right? I love that about us. I love our art. I love our shapes, the colors, the oomph. And I love, like I said, seeing us doing our thing. And I liked the comfortable confidence of this showcase. It's not begging for our attention. That's something that corporate really does. It says we're hip, we're cool, you understand us, we're with the cool boys. Xbox was dripping in that. It was, I would call Xbox a kind of unconfident showing. Like, it's in your face, it's loud, but it is corporate begging. They want my attention a little bit too much. There were a couple of games that got my attention. There is Truck Coon is supporting me from another world. It looks very silly. I do like a good destroy stuff in a sandbox experience. It makes me think of Katamari. Then there's Plum Road Tea Dream. I can't exactly say that I know what this game is or what it's exactly going to be like, but it certainly looks interesting. It looks like something like nothing I've ever seen before. And I've been kind of wanting a more in-your-facey, intimate kind of game that asks you to slow down, regulate your nervous system, and consider life. Ponder why we do what we do and the people around us. It does look largely like a walking simulator, but I played the occasional one of those, and this looks like a pretty interesting one. Next, and seventh most gay, is The Mix. It is another indie showcase. This one is a little smaller than the Day of the Devs. That was your more AA indie. This is like your very indie. Starting off, a man and a woman presenter. You know, you might think that was straight, but no, that's very gay. That's gay. It's gay. And look at them. These are diverse. We're brown. You've got it's gay. There you go. Diversity, equity, inclusion. This showcase is like your gay, non-binary version of Day of the Devs, focused on very personal stories, individual expression, character customization. When I start to see that I can put pink hair on my characters, I know we're getting just a little gayer. It's really nice to see how far indie games have come, how far indie studios have come, and aside from sheer scale, a lot of these titles are indistinguishable from their AAA counterparts. A lot of them are handling the kinds of models, the kinds of scale, the kinds of stories that AAA has been largely known to be the only ones who could do. Right. What a fucked up sentence. But you know what I mean. A few more notches in fidelity, and I think they would be indistinguishable. I actually have quite a few games on this showcase that I was interested in some way, shape, or form. Isle Goblin, this looks cute. I like a little resourcey building, farming, fighting, goblin-y game. That looks cute, that looks fun. Pale Tide, looks like a post-apocalypse survival zombie game. I like stuff like that. It kind of makes me think of, what's it called? The Long Dark? But with dog. I always like to have a little animal companion. That's always going to make me want to play a game. So, you know, I'm going to give that one a try. Pale Tide. We've got a roguelike-y, shooty, Wild West, Neon Wild West voxel game called Erosion. This looks fun. It's got a few different gameplay mechanic-y things. You know, you got your shooting, you've got your gambling, you got your characters that you get to know in town. I'm gonna give this a try. I like the way it looks. We've also got Paperhead, which woo, I like again. Like I say, I love the papercraft aesthetic. Look at my character. I'm into this. I like it. And I mean, look at it. Does this not pull you in, or is it just me? I love it. I love it. I like it's dark. It's gritty. It's making me think of like a glammed up version of some of the Newground games that I grew up that are like cute and bloody. I really like this, so I'm going to give this a try. I need more silly boomer shooter games about little papercraft characters. It's cute in a, you know, pile of bloody meat kind of way. Yay! I'm about to start up another round of Binding of Isaac just as soon as I'm done recording this. This game is literally a drug trip, and not like in that, whoa, what drugs were they on when they made this? But like, it's literally about drugs. It's about pills. It's about the effects they have on a person's mind. I bet this will be quite the experience to play. Broken lore, don't lie. Next we have Feed It. I'm unsettled by this one, and that draws me in. It looks a little creepy. Once again, yeah, I guess I really pulled in by a lot of these horror aesthetics. You're gonna see that coming up a few more times, and also body horror. That's a little gay. The experience of going through a very hegemonic society while feeling very different is inherently a kind of horror. So when minorities make a horror game, it's gonna scare you a little bit more than like a Resident Evil pot, a bucket of parts. It's not like it's not your Happy Tree Friends gore. It's gonna unsettle you in a I'm looking at my face and it's not right kind of way, or something like that. We've also got Dungeon Lurker. I don't know what to say other than this looks cool as fuck. I want to play this. I like it. I want to play this. End of sentence. End of story. I play a lot of Souls games. I play a lot of games that lean into old aesthetics. So it's for me. Then we've got Entropy, and from immediately I knew this was from the makers of Dread Delusion. In one game, they have already solidified their style in my mind. I'm really enjoying Dread Delusion. It's something I've been playing in the last 6 months, in the last year. I haven't gotten that far through it. One of my save files corrupted. Very sad, very depressing. Well, I guess since I haven't really caught up to where I was previously. Very disappointing. But it's still a great game, and I really can't wait to see what else they have to offer us. I can't wait to see where they go from there. They're already at such a small scale offering up like the sort of Daggerfall Oblivion experience. Next up, and sixth most gay, is the Frosty Games Fest. It's just another set of indies. Yeah, these are just even smaller than that last indie showcase. Very heavy indie vibes, very little guy, just a little non-binary little creature, a little dude. These are a lot of smaller teams telling very personal stories, and many of the characters and moments and all of these things that they show us, it seems very autobiographical. And when you get that closer, zoomed in look on a person's identity, it can make even straight people look just a little gay. I mean, what's gayer? An Iron Man where it's pulled back and Tony and Pepper just quit back and forth? Or an Iron Man where you're seeing his emotions, seeing how he feels, he's writing about it in his journal, he's thinking about their interactions, you can see his inner monologue. That's a little gayer, and you know it. The intensity of life that can only be found by wearing someone else's shoes and walking a mile or two, where you see the colors, the shapes, the influences that make up a person's psyche and identity, and then caring about that in like a feel-good way. That's some gay shit, and you know it. It's certainly not afraid to be a little weird. I mean, just look at this. This is Janet Denore is a slumlord and a witch. I'm gonna give that one a try. But yeah, it's not afraid to be a little weird. It's not afraid to be silly. It's not being censored to be palatable to the generic masses. Some of these things are proudly out and proud anti-capitalist. They proudly center disability. They openly wear their inspirations, and it's just a zoomed in look on the things that make up a person who they are. Gay. And other than that Slumlord game I showed earlier, I'm also interested in Noob's Guide. It's making me think of, the beginner's game. A look at games from as, I guess, meta of a perspective as it can. Games as games. It's about games. It looks silly as hell. We'll see. Then there's The Troll and the Witch's House. I'm always going to be drawn into a drawn aesthetic. I like 2D animations. I like witches, I like goblins. This is, I mean, it's a troll, not a goblin, but you know, that's still scratching the same itch. It's still, you know, it's still fixing me up good. You know, I like this. The troll in the witch's house. I'm gonna give it a try. There's also trading card inspector, where you like approve or deny cards and gauge their value, and I think it would be very interesting. I don't play a lot of card games, but I still do collect a lot of cards. You know, I had a Magic phase in college. I have a decent sized collection of Pokemon cards. It's, you know, I like cards. I really do. You know, I just don't always, you know, I'm a little TikTok brain. I don't always like strategy. I'm not playing games to think hard, but this looks fun. Then we've got Radio Decay. I guess I can't say much more than I like how it looks, and I'd like to give it a try. It looks dark, it looks moody. It's a very interesting concept where you switch out your arms like equipment, like your limbs, limb core, arms, legs, too many feet. What's going on? It's body horror. It's a little gross, and I like that about it. It's got my attention. This next game shows up a couple of times through different showcases, but this is Doomsday Diner. I don't know, it looks silly. It makes me think of Borderlands. Cook up hot dogs, I guess shoot your patrons, and run a little hot dog stand. I like hot dogs. I mean, I love me a good dog, but they're the most iconic food in the world. I'm even not in the world. I like the way they look. I like the way they taste. I like the way they look. Leave me alone. And liking hot dogs too much? Gay. Next up, and fifth most gay, is the women-led showcase. I'm sorry, ladies. Hold up. I have a miniature rant for a split second. And this is something that's only a problem online, it's women, not woman. Multiple women. One woman, two women. Men and women. Not woman. What is this new reality I've stepped into? With this new world, where everyone pronounces the plural of woman as woman. I feel like I'm having a stroke. No, it is women. Language changes, but what the fuck is happening? It's killing me. Anyway, fifth most gay is the women-led show. This is the women-led showcase. And it's great that this is happening now, because as I watch this showcase, I can borderline feel my nervous system being regulated. I feel invited in. I don't feel pushed out. I don't feel pushed aside. I don't feel like my taste, interest, sense of self are being pushed aside for a narrative. And to include me, that's kind of gay of you. Character design queens. Lots of character customization throughout the showcase. Games led by women are really about immersing you in an emotive and personal experience. You know, as we see with all minorities, that's a common reoccurring theme. And just by looking at a lot of the imagery, it leaves me feeling very, frankly, just moved. And when we think about games that are largely featuring women, you know, even like just as your main character, not necessarily the teams are led by women. You've got your Hellblade, your Night in the Wood, your Celeste. These things are about telling that personal story in a way that makes you relate to it, in a way that is supposed to reflect on your own experience as you go through it. And that's a little gay of you. A lot of witches, a lot of lady punk. Love to see that. Very gay. We've got Dungeons and Daddies, BDSM. Do I need to explain that that's gay as hell? They've got a vegan feminist dad. It's some gay, good gay shit. A lot of these games I'll be talking about later, but I'm still going to talk about one of them that I'm also going to bring up again later. This is Dungeons and Dining Tables. Very cute. You fight in dungeons, and then you go home and you decorate. What more could a fella ask for? It's very cute. You know, I would just like to say, women make some beautiful horror games. I love it when women get into horror, make horror movies, make movies about, well, frankly, a lot of things that are about, I don't know, questioning the status quo, questioning what's supposed to feel normal. This is Rest Stop, and I really like how it looks. It's a horrifying experience being a woman sometimes. And these games, a lot of things that are made from a woman's perspective, a horror made from a woman's perspective, it gets that across sometimes. It really does. Then we got God's TV. It just looks really stylish. I like that sort of isometric, hack and slashy, stylish graffiti style, neon and graffiti kind of game aesthetic. I like it. I like the way it looks, and then that's it. You know, I think it'll be a fun game. Looks pretty silly. I mean, look at it. Look at the style. Look at the colors. I need this in my life. Next most gay is the Green Games Showcase. All about plants, all about the environment. There's nothing gayer than caring about ecology. Oh, what? You want to impress Mother Nature? Okay, you mama's boy. Bet you think you're some kind of feminist or something. No, but I like it. I like that this is a showcase. Good on them. The games here are some of the wooiest, cutest games across the entire festival. It's also at the same time a showcase with a lot to say. I mean, like, yeah, it makes sense. When you care about the environment, when you care about the ecology, there's something you want to talk about. You want to explain it. You want to pull people in. We're so busy being above it all, being human, mankind, that we forget to look at the world around us and kind of treat it in a gentle manner. And you know who does a whole lot of talking, writing, singing, and pondering about life? Us gays. We dream, we long, we hope for a world that cares about us, cares about nature, just cares about life, seeking to preserve the beauty of the world around them. And don't that sound a little gay? It sound a little gay to me. This is us being the fairies that stand out in contrast against manly utilitarianism and like brutalist architecture or something. It's punk. It's like the truest punk. It's not even like punk as aesthetic. It's just punk as lifestyle. Really what makes this showcase extra gay. I know I heard the word gender more than once across this. It's about plants and y'all's talking gender? Gay. And then this game here, this is Haven. It lets you, look at this, you can choose your lovers. What? Gay as hell. Beautiful. We've got a few games that I took interest in. This is Kenforge, and a few I'll talk about later. You'll see. It looks fun. Very concept art core, and I like that. Also, concept art core is a little fruity. I don't know, it's a little gay. It seems gay to me. I don't know. It does. We've got Permafrost. I already said I like the long dark, so I like these like survive on a mountain, you know, get your resources. This one's like build a base. I like that. I like the way that looks. I want to play that. I want to play it. Leafy Corner. This is another game for my girl. I'll get it for her. Look, it's plants and it's decorating. All of you plant green witches, go on, come get your game, come eat. It's for you, come eat. And then we've got Strange Seed. I'm loving this era of spore likes. We are in an age of it. We're in an era of it. I should have added this to my later thing, but don't worry about it. Whatever. I am so glad to see more spore likes. This is a spore like where all of the creatures seem to be based on creatures that are actually on our planet, and then you can make your own out of the parts. So I've already bought it. I'm not even gonna say I want to get it. I have already bought it. So I think later I'll post a video talking about it among a few other games. We're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna do something a little experimental. Do you know what's gayer about caring about the environment more than humanity? Caring about nature and rejecting your humanity. That's right, it's my channel, and now I get to make my own showcase. I just want to show off a few of the creaturey, monstery games that were announced. We're in our era. I was getting ready to make a video, whining, complaining, boo-hoo, that there just aren't enough games about monsters, about creatures, that Pokemon and people looking to emulate Pokemon that they're holding us back. They're not holding us back. I wanted to see some variety. I wanted to see something there, and I know we're hungry. And so I've made my own little showcase. We had a lot of monster games, creature games, critter games shown off during the Summer Game Fest. So we're gonna talk about them. First up, Power World is getting its full release. Go Power World. As you can see, I'm on Power World's side. I know it's had its controversy. Yeah, it's held back by its designs. I don't really care that they look like Pokemon. Some of them need to be changed. But for the most part, they are different enough. But to be so tethered to someone else's design philosophy holds you back viciously. I don't like being reminded of something else as I interact with it constantly. It's pulling me out of my immersion. And two, you're not really making your own signature. I'm now seeing it as a kind of off Pokemon instead of its own thing. And I would much prefer to see it as its own thing. Every other group of creature collectors, it tends to look a certain way. It tends to look like it's come from a different design philosophy. It looks like it comes from a different culture. It looks like it comes from a different group of people. This does look like someone who spends all day looking at Pokemon on a second monitor. And I'm not the biggest fan of that. But I say all that to say, Power World is better than any Pokemon game I've played in the last 10 years. So, full release. I will probably play a little bit more Power World as time goes on. Go Power World. So, as you can see with Power World, first off, I'm starting off with a lot of these Pokemon, a lot of games that are your turn-based Pokemon games. But before we get into some of those other ones, it's time we talk about Pokopia. I want to play Pokopia. I really, really do. But I don't like how comfortable Pokemon has gotten with DLC. Y'all don't even make good games in the first place. What you mean you want to sell an expensive game and then sell us more game based on the game you barely finished? Pokemon, you kill me. You hurt me deeply. A $1 billion corporation, and this is the best they can offer. And then they want to sell it to you 4 times over. Make 2 copies, make software updates, DLC. And they just never want to give you anything at a good price. I don't like their business model. And yet, I still want to play Pokopia. So clearly Pokopia is doing something right. That I can whine and piss and moan and still... I love Pokemon. I love those little creatures. I love them deeply. Anyway, I'll let them do their thing. At least it's got expansions across 3 of them. I hope it's worth the value. Pokopia seems like one of the best values Pokemon has made in a long while, so I do want to be gentler to specifically Pokopia. I'm just kind of upset at Pokemon as a brand, and I can't get over that. We've also got Dragon Quest Monsters. Do I know anything about Dragon Quest? No. Do I want to play the Dragon Quest monster game? Abso-fucking-lutely. Please. I've always liked the design of the monster, of the Dragon Quest monsters. I guess I don't have much to say other than I like to give it a try. I'm not really seeing too much about it that's like, I don't know. I guess I just want to give it a try. I guess what makes me pause is I'm never really into any turn-based game all that much. But clearly I play a ton of them. Maybe I do like them. I like other genres more. This is just really the only avenue through which I can play a lot of creature games. I think that's why I end up playing Weasel. Sorry, excuse me. I think that's why I end up playing so many of these. And we've got Cassette Beasts. This is Cassette Beast 2. Cassette Beast, yes. This is Cassette Beast 2002. What a cute name for a sequel to your cassette monster game. 2002. All right, that's cute. That's cheeky. I own Cassette Beasts. I bought it for a video I'm working on, so I haven't exactly played it yet, but I've heard great things about it. I like the way it looks. I like what it's doing. I like what it's done to the Pokemon formula. It is sadly one of those games that's kind of tethered to the Pokemon formula, so you're still stuck in that, you know, turn-based story. It's fine. I don't know. Maybe I need to relax about the turn-based thing. I just want more games that are like real-time combat with creatures. I would like a little bit more of that. But yeah, Cassette Beast 2002, it looks great. Then we got Montabi. I saw this across a couple of showcases. I think it might have been in the Southeast Asian showcase. But it's like a grid-based, turn-based, rogue-like deck builder, as it says. It's really interesting. It's engaging me. I want to see what it does. I really like the way it looks. It's very cute, very cutesy. Then we got Lumentale. The intro cinematic little animated thing. This is cute. It looks good. It looks about as good as some of your best episodes of Pokemon. Well, the character designs are doing a lot of the work. The actual like aesthetic of the designs are doing a lot of the work. The animation itself, no, it's not doing the best of what Pokemon does, but here we go. Everything gets compared to Pokemon. I really can't help it. There isn't much doing things to the scale of Pokemon, so things will continue to be compared to it until something bigger, better, and different comes out that sort of shows the world what creature games can really do. That being said, as far as games based off the bones of Pokemon goes, this looks great. We already talked about this one. I guess it deserves to be talked about twice. Tawada Brava, get in my Steam library right now. Then we've got Croak and Solve, isometric pixel aesthetics, detective-y, anthro animal game. I guess I have nothing to say other than it looks like it would be an interesting experience. This one looks cute. This is barely breathing. And I do love those embody the physicality experience of an animal. But this is like your little goldfish who has to hop from source of water to source of water to get around. It looks like a very cute physics-based game that, yeah, I would like to give this a try. And as we get more into those, in the life of putting you in the body and experience of a creature, we always got to talk about mouse games. And we've got a few mouse games coming up. This is Rat Scum. It almost makes me think of, remember that South Park games where they shrink you down and put you in a wall? That's what and you're hanging around mouse traps and rats and things. That's what this is making me think of. I like the designs of the rats. I like the aesthetic of the game. I like that sort of digital art painterly kind of look. It looks concept art core once again. So yeah, I love good mouse games. And we've got a lot of them coming out lately. If you had a nickel, you'd have more than two. Lots of mice games. Good era for the mice. This is Hella. Once again, we're continuing down that mouse game trajectory. You're like a little mouse familiar who explores a little forest and gets little ingredients for a witch. maybe we're all feeling a little like mice right now. I think that's part of why we're so into mice as an aesthetic. We are the little guys against big evil corpo. I mean, they may be big evil corpo Mickey Mouse, but still, you know, we're looking under a log for these little smaller, maybe forgotten experiences in the hustle and bustle of the dog eat dog world. Then we got Grounded 2. I never played Grounded. I was interested in it. I just never got around to it. But it's nice to see it's getting a sequel. You don't often see games at this scale where ladybugs are quite that big, ants are quite that big. And I do like to see that different look at a backyard, where the backyard is this wild world that's gonna kill you kind of thing. Think I would like to play the first Grounded before I play Grounded 2. So I think I'm going to do that. Maybe use it for content. It's a good excuse for me to get into a game. You know, I'm not always content brained, but you know, it gives me good structure to really dive into a game that I'm just kind of putting off. Then we have my otter friends. You know, if you know me personally, you might know I've got a complicated relationship to otters. I like them. I like all mustelids. Do not get me wrong. But, you know, they just they get all the mustelid attention. You know, how Planet Zoo's got like 3 otters and no weasels. You know, I go to a zoo, I go to the gift shop, that I've never once found a weasel. You know, I don't really go to zoos anymore, but when I went, anyway, whatever, I could go on about that forever. You know, my otter friends, this looks very, very cute. And I don't hate otters, you know, I really don't. I get it, they're very cute, they're very charismatic. I do get why they get the attention that they do. And this game looks adorable. So I will be playing my otter friends. And on that same route is Castaway Capybara. This looks cute as hell. A capybara, a little crow. I love this. I love how cute it is. And then this game, this is Hawthorne. Do we all remember Hawthorne, or just us animal freaks? I don't know, this had like a mild peak of virality, I don't know, a few years back. Where like a piece of it they showed off like a piece of it and people were really interested in it. Makes me think of Redwall. I love little mice with a little village, a little homestead, little old-timey Eurocore, you know, breads and pies mice. That's always cute. It's always fun, and I'd like to play this. I'm interested how it'll look upon release. And this is not a diss to it. This is just a product of going for such a realistic aesthetic. It does always look a bit in alpha. It does look a tinch unfinished, but it's hard to finish such realistic graphics. I don't have much to say about this other than it's cute. This is Tinker Nest. Craft them, feed them, save them, have a little island, plant a few plants. Do a little bit of decorating, and I love the aesthetic, new age to old age kind of look, and this makes me think of that. If you've seen stuff made with like Crocodile, which is like pixel graphics that you make into 3D models, it makes me think of that. I don't know how much this game will have to offer, but I do know it looks as cute as can be, as cute as a little bug in a rug. A bee bug and a bee rug. This is Bee Hotel, and I mean, I'm sorry, no, this is the Isle of Lost Bees. I'm sorry, I looked at the sign and said Bee Hotel. But you plant flowers, you collect bees, you level up, you dress them. And it doesn't look too much more than that, but it certainly looks very cute. I'd like to spend a weekend playing this, and I think I will. I hadn't been expecting too many Slime Rancher likes. Now this isn't a Slime Rancher like, but the aesthetics really make me think of Slime Rancher. It's actually a power wash game. Tons of games throughout the various showcasing were Power Wash Simulator likes. I didn't expect it to have the cultural push that it did. Now, I enjoy Power Wash Simulator. I really do. I just didn't expect it, and I get it. It really makes sense now that I, see it in so many places. It's a very accessible sort of gameplay loop for an indie team to make a game based off of. It really is. But this is like, it's ecology, it's creatures, it's cleaning up an environment. It looks cute. And it's another mouse game. Alien kind of mouse, mouse from a different planet, but it's certainly a mouse. This is Dungeons and Dining Tables again. We talked about that earlier. I don't have anything else to add to it, and it looks fun. It looks cute. Don't complain, don't complain. Horse games. I have no qualms about horse games. Y'all are just privileged. Yeah, there's just never been a hunger for horse games. And this one looks like a cute one. I know I'm covering up a lot of the horses, but they've got this like cute drawn aesthetic. You can see them. I love the way it looks. Even if I don't really like horse games, good, go horse girlies. Go get you some. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you always have so many options. Do I sound happy? I am. Ooh, we are also in the era of Spore likes. Now, we already talked about one earlier, which was what was that one called? Strange Seed. And that's great. And this one is called Adapt. So I'm just really excited to see this new showing of different games inspired by Spore. I always felt a little disappointed by what Spore offered. It would try to do too many things at once and ended up doing very little of any of it. You want to have compelling animal interactions, and you want to have a city builder, and you want to do a space exploration, and you end up doing kind of middling versions of all of them. So I want to see where a lot of these indie developers take the Spore structure. This next game is very beautiful. This is Tori Beyond the Gates. As we go further, this is my aesthetic-y section of my monster games. These games are very beautiful. They've drawn me in with the way they look. This looks like a Hollow Knight-like, Metroidvania. Well, I don't know if it's a Metroidvania, but it's certainly a platformer. Platformer where you fight, and it's beautiful. Hollow Knight. Oh no, let me see. That certainly looks Metroidvania. This looks like a Metroidvania. I bet it's a Metroidvania. Ew, what's that? Is that a little compendium? Please. I want to see compendiums. I love codexes. Anyway, next up, Come to My Party. It's probably one of the best looking games showcased. I love the way it looks. I don't like story-based games. I don't want to read. I don't want to talk to people. I want a game. And yet, I want this so bad. It's so cute. It's the character design. I love it. I love it. And it looks like it'll be a pretty good story. I don't completely check out of the story. I'm not completely against a story. It just doesn't tickle the dopamine receptors like hacking and slashing at a monster's ankles does for me. What can I say? I'm a boy. Then we've got Darkbound. This one's interesting. It makes me think of ARGs. It's got that old school PC aesthetic. It's gritty, it's dark, it's horrifying, and it's cutesy. I really want to give this one a try. And now Xbox has made their own Untitled Goose Game. They have. And as soon as I saw that, I knew the kind of vibe. It's a little stinker. This is Bad Magpie. You got spray cans, fireworks, you knock stuff over. This is their Untitled Goose Game. This one showed up several times throughout the different showcases. This is building relationships, and it's it's literal. It's literal. You're a building and you jump around and you build relationships. You fish, you meet other buildings, you, I guess, fall in love. I can't exactly say I understand what this game is, but it's definitely interesting. Are you you identify as a bottom floor or as a rooftop? That's funny. That's funny. This one was part of the India showcase. This is, what is it? Chiclet's Human Products. A game where the people are animals and the animals are people. You farm humans. You catch them, you farm them, you skin them, you cook them into food. It's so morbid. It's funny. I'll give this a try. It doesn't look like it does much more than the funny theme. I'll be honest, it does kind of look like your standard. It looks borderline phone game-ish. You know, it's a bit rough. Also, some of these aesthetics look AI-ish. I'm not just gonna outright, you know, point the finger just from the outside, you know, but it looks a bit AI-ish in places, but I'm gonna let them have it while I don't know. Then we've got Clown Town. You know, I play a few 4-person party games. You know, I had my streamer days. I like a good with the friends kind of game, a little Mario Party like with clown creatures. This one I've seen many times. Into the Unwell. It's your XXX jug of moonshine kind of 2D animation. Things are getting hit with pianos. You're goopy, you're soupy. It's cute. Ooh, and then we've got this one, Lost and Found. It's scratching so many itches for me, and it's doing that Amazing World of Gumball mix up of different animation styles and aesthetics that I love. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't know. It's Lost and Found, so it's probably a point and click, you know, find an item, give it to a person, look around town. But I don't mind experiencing those every now and then. I don't mind that. And when it looks like this, I will be playing this game. Then we have Skills and Raids. A bit of a straightforward name, but there was a few games throughout the different showcases that have that Darkest Dungeon look, and I like to see that here. I guess this is one of those ones that you have to play the game to kind of know if it's good or not. Well, I guess that's all the games, but like balancing really affects if a game like this is fun or not. But I like the way it looks. Some of these games that look like Darkest Dungeon look a little too much like Darkest Dungeon for my taste. This one looks like it's adding something. I'm seeing lots of different menus, lots of different stuff, but I saw a couple that looked too close. But this one looks good. I also like the different. You've got anthro people. What? I like the animals. What do you want from me? And now we're gonna trend more in towards the horror aesthetic. I'm thinking horror. This is Another Door. They had a little reveal trailer. I guess I really don't know what kind of game this is. You lie, you go through doors, you try to, you make plans, you get artifacts. I guess I don't really know, but I do know you have to determine the truth from lies. You gamble. It's eldritchy. It's creepy. You know, you're betting your life on the cards, your coins and betting. What's that game? It's making me think of Inscription. I'm like, it's good, whatever it is. Inscription. We're continuing horror. We have About Fishing. It makes me think of Silent Hill. Now, it doesn't look like it's going to be scary like that. It looks more like a pick up journals and then fish, but it's foggy kind of game. So there'll be maybe a few scares, but this is mostly about fishing. And we've got a second fishing game. This is Dreadmore. This is like where your fishing meets. This is where your fishing meets your eldritch. You know, what's under the water. I love the way it looks. That swampy bayou kind of look I do really like. As long as I remember that it exists, I will be playing this one. There's so many games that I have wish listed. Tons of games from watching all of these showcases. It's been a beautiful thing about actually watching all of them instead of just watching the major publishers and seeing maybe 2 games that I like. I saw hundreds of games and I want to play so many of them. We've also got this End of Abyss game. Makes me think of Little Nightmares, but just in that slow-paced walk and explore. It's obviously not. You've got a gun, but ooh, I love the way these little monsters look. They look good. I like this. I want to play this. End of Abyss. Wolong 2. I don't know nothing about no Wolong 1, but I do know I like the designs of the monsters in this. And we've been seeing a lot more games that are like Souls games, that are something between like a Monster Hunter and a Souls game, and I love to see it. I love both of those series, and more please. And then Monster Hunter Wilds Ascension. You know, I said it like I was super duper mega excited. I mean, I am. Anytime Monster Hunter comes out with anything, I'm on board. Even Monster Hunter Stories, I'm on board for. But I will be honest, the blockbuster Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter Wilds, they're sadly not my favorite. They're not bad. They're just not my favorite. They're a little easier. I don't necessarily like the stories in them. I think it might be the ease of them. I think they're just a little easier than what would the handheld counterparts. I was playing Monster Hunter GU at the same time as that World came out, and I much preferred that experience. That aside, this is Monster Hunter Wilds Ascension. I'm playing Monster Hunter Wilds right now. I'm really enjoying it. You know, the story is troubled, but I still enjoy the game. I enjoy every Monster Hunter. Put a charge blade in my hand, and I don't care what kind of story you do. I'm gonna have an all right time. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna have a great time. I'm gonna have one of the best times of the year. I always find Monster Hunter games one of my favorite. So yeah, I will be playing Ascendance. Last but not least is the reveal of Planet Zoo 2. I like your business simulator, you know, your zoo tycoons, your planet coasters, I just bought that 2-point interactive museum thing. I really like that. And so Planet Zoo 2, I'm so on board for. Please, please, please let there be weasels in this game. I'm not going to go on that otter weasel mustelid rant again, but I promise you, my people, we suffer. There are no weasels anywhere. There, in the group of mustelids, the largest genus is Mustela, the weasels, and they are never anywhere. There aren't many in cartoons. You get the occasional ferret. I just want to see some weasels. And that aside, I will still be playing this game, whether it has weasels or not. It just breaks my heart a little bit. Put some weasels in your damn game. That aside, it looks gorgeous. Looks great. I can't wait to play it. I can't wait to play around with the new exhibits, the new animals, the new decorating options. They've really expanded on it. They really have. So yeah, Planet Zoo 2. But yes, that was my monster game direct showcase, whatever. I might make that playlist public. You know, feel free to go through it, pick out some games, show some creature lovers some love. You know, we need it. Anyway, back to our list. We're down to the top 3, the final 3, the gayest of the gay, the best of the best, the finest of the fruitiest. Third, we've got story-rich games, the story-rich showcase. I'm sorry to say this is probably the least interesting one for me. I think we've already figured out by now. Do not put a story in front of me; my brain will turn off. I just hate to see a text box coming my way. That aside, in terms of gayness or not, it's very gay. It's extremely gay. I've never seen a gayer selection of character designs, of people, I'll be honest, I do almost want to play some of these. I just don't like stories. I do. But I would just rather read. I either want to play a game or I want to read. I don't usually want to do both at once. Anyway, these stories they're rich, they're deep, they're personal, and they hope to dissect the human experience. They want to open up their chest and show you their heart on the sleeves, and that's a little gay. When I say the most non-binary designs I've ever seen, and look at these characters. In my entire life, it does not get more NB than this. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. This is performing non-binary. This isn't like a little guy that's featureless and just happens to be non-binary. That's when Nintendo ends up acting. This is like in your face. This is wearing a binder. I'm wearing my binder as aesthetic, as style. You know, painted nails. They did that back in grade school. We have evolved. We beyond that. A lot of these games are dating sims, and dating sims are already kind of gay. They are. And ones that aren't a male power fantasy fan servicey one, oh, they're gay as hell. You've got to have varieties. You've got to have options. And to not be tied to just one, your destined straight match, and instead getting to pick and choose and intimately get to know characters. That's gay. That's gay. Gay as hell. Despite not being interested in story-based games, there were still a few games that got my attention. I do play the occasional one. Up behind me now is The Mermaid Mask. I'll admit, I just like the way it looks. I'm sorry, when it comes to games, a pretty face does get my attention. And I really like the way these characters are made. I like their designs. It certainly is diverse, equitable, and inclusive. So, more points towards that. But yeah, I like these designs. Quite a few of these are detective games, and this is one of the gayest of the bunch. This is Shelf Life Art School Detective, where you date and detect. And I mean, look at the character designs. I can't give enough gay points to this showing of games, but this looks very interesting. This is probably one of the most interesting ones I saw. Then there's second gayest, and reason for this video's existence is the Wholesome Direct. After I saw this, and then I watched the Xbox showcase, or I guess other way around, I watched Xbox first and then this, the vast difference in tone, I just couldn't get away from it. I'm like, what makes them so different? It's called, this one is gay as hell and the other one is, oh my god, painfully straight. This one, you've got colored hair, everybody's announcing themselves with pronouns. This is literally they are hosting a t-shirt sales fundraiser for the Transgender Law Center. Literally LGBT rights. Beautiful to see. Cute characters, colorful hair, the cutesy gay package. A lot of the games I talked about during my creature monstery showcase, but the cutest ones a lot of them were in here. These are wholesome games. They want you to feel safe and comfortable. No red and green vicious RGBs, only bisexual lighting allowed, soft colors, soft characters. fashion, style, comfort, design. They take up more space here than in any other showcases. These games are gentle, they're holding my hand, they're speaking in a manner that will regulate me. I feel like I'm standing in a gentle sunbeam. Right behind me, those are the t-shirts being given away as part of the Wholesome Games Direct. Honestly, feel free to go buy one. I might go get one, you know, put a little money towards some good stuff and get a little cute t-shirts. They're literally showing off trans activism. Go them. Go them. One of the hosts is literally a VTuber. Even acknowledging the existence of VTubers is gay as hell. I don't know any straight VTubers. VTubers aren't straight. And like, as a PNG person myself, I'm so happy to see a little toon representation. Like, I'll be honest, I still can't get over the vast difference between this and the Xbox Showcase. This is the show's Bizarro World counterpart. Like, when I watch the Xbox Showcase, I'm frowning. I'm wondering, do I even like games? Like, do I like games? What's going on? But then I'll see a showcase like the Wholesome Direct, and while I don't want every single one of these games, I'm upright, I'm alert, I'm leaned in, neurons firing. I guess, what gender are you? Punch demons into blood and eat rusty nails, or chronically ill therapy speak? Literally, one of the games is advertised as the experience of a chronically ill person. A lot of these games sell you on the idea of freedom from capitalism, or at least cozy capitalism, where the items are cute and sustainable and you actually reap the rewards of your labor alongside all your cutesy little friends. Fields of Mystria, it's getting its full 1.0 release. I thought it was already out. You know, it's very popular. I don't really need to advertise this. Y'all know what Fields of Mystria is. All right? It looks cute. I think I'll play it at some point. Dungeon Tourists, this looks fun. I would love to play it with friends. Design a little character, go through a dungeon, take pictures. This looks cute. Hidden Folks, puzzly, click around, watch silly things happen, fun little game. I like it. I like the way it looks. Hidden Folks 2. This is a sequel, I guess. No, I presume. And then it finishes us off with a game there isn't a game I could expect least. I just never expected this. Moomin? I don't know nothing about Moomin. I do recognize the character, but I very much so did not expect Moomin Midsummer Madness. I'll admit I can't say I really want to play the game, but it's interesting to see the character. And finally, the gayest is very obviously the gaming pride parade. It's just literally gay. I guess there's no justifying it. There's no defining it. There's no explaining it. It's hosted by drag queens. It's purposeful. It's political. It's pride in action. It's gay. It just is gay. It's not performing gay. It's just gay. Y'all gamer boys, you think y'all are tough and gruff, fighting hordes of zombies and demons and fake fascists in a video game. Imagine doing it in real life. Watching your rights, your sense of self, be demonized, stripped away by one of the most powerful fucking countries to have ever existed. And then to continue to strive, continue to thrive among it. That is real bravery, and you can't lie to me and say it's not. To take your heartache and to continue to build something productive, to continue to show care. It shows real strength, the real strength of our community, that we really we stick together. We do. We really do. And there are a fun few sort of games I would love to give a try out of this showcase. We've got Riz Dungeon Skeleton Key to My Heart, Dating Monsters, and let me go forward, because I need to tell you, they're actually monsters. I hate when all the monster girls aren't monsters and they're just like cat-eared women. I guess it's fine if you like your cat-eared girls, but I want to see some real monsters, please. Please make girls monsters. What's the point of being a werewolf if you're not going to be a werewolf? But this looks cute. This looks fun. There's a ton of variety. You go through a dungeon and you date girl monsters and they fight on your behalf. That's a fun idea. That's a fun idea. I would like to play this one. Next up is She. This is once again when the girls and the gays make their body horror. When we make our horror, when we make our conversations about culture, we really get somewhere visceral. And She seems to be one of those kinds of showings. And I'd like to give it a try. I would like to play it. Cute patoots. It looks like a fun, quirky little platformer. I guess I don't have too much more to say. It's a Mega Man-like. I don't always love the Mega Man-likes, but I like them. And this looks silly. It looks fun. I'll give it a try. This one is fun and quirky. This is called Spill the Beans, and it's like it's a detective, talk to everybody kind of game, but you did it. You did the crime, so you're going to pin your crime on somebody else, some innocent character. After talking to them, building relationships with them, learning about them, you're gonna use that against them, and that's just so diabolical. It's dastardly, and I love it. And I don't always play games like this, but if it's a cute little idea like this, I might give it a try. And so what'd you think? What'd you think of our gay showing? That's it. That's the video. That's the gaying.